Hi, I'm Tom, and this is AC on the Short Alpha Clash podcast, where I talk all things Alpha Clash on my way to work. And today's topic is set releases. I want to talk briefly about that, what I think is good and bad, what Rising Empire Studios is doing with Alpha Clash. But I want to touch on something before then, so let's dig into that. So, we just had a Clash Ground in the US, the second Clash Ground around. At some point, I'm going to stop counting them because there are going to be a ton of them. But the second Clash Ground in the US, this was in Columbus, I believe, where we had I touched on this in the last episode, or the episode before that, where we had a very diverse meta. So the number of contenders in that Clash Ground was much more diverse than in the first Clash Ground, or at least the run-up to it is much more diverse. And there was actual fighting about which contender would prevail. In next week or the week after that, I can't remember, there will be the next Clash Ground, this time in the Philippines, I believe in Manila again, but don't hold me to that. And someone on Discord server showed the meta breakdown in the Philippines as it stands right now. And what's interesting about that, and what is hopefully going to happen, is that will reflect the Clash Ground competition. There is a lot of diversity in that. And it's not talk, all of it. So the last time they had a Clash Ground in the Philippines, it was talk all over. I think, was it all the top 8 there was talk? I think it was something like that. And this time around, there's still talk, but he's like the fourth or fifth most used contender. What is really interesting is that Clarity's up there. I think she's a very good contender. And Krung, Lord Krung, is there, the new contender, the new discarded contender, which I think is absolutely amazing. So, with any bit of luck, we're going to have a new contender, or a diverse meta in Manila. And maybe a new contender is winning. Let's see what happens. Anyway, that is a great outlook on that. And Krung, I might add, is one of the ones I want to build with. So, on that note, I'm working on a pet deck video for the YouTube channel. So if you don't know, if you're not on YouTube, we're catching these. There's a YouTube channel called Just One Pack, where I open one booster pack predominantly from Alpha Clash and Pokemon every single day. Why those two? Because those are the two games I play. But from time to time, I'll post a longer format video, and I'm working on a pet deck. So the pet deck I am building on right now is a death deck. So look out for that. But maybe I should do a Krung. Let me know in the comments, and go subscribe to either this or the YouTube channel. Anyway, for today's topic is set release. So the reason I want to talk about that is because last week, I think, there came a new episode of the official, quote-unquote, Alpha Clash podcast, which is the Rising Empire Studio. Rising Empire Studio has a podcast they call Through the Portal, and in that podcast, they announced that in July we will get the name of the 4th set for Alpha Clash. That is brilliant good news, and it got me thinking, how is this structured? So I compared that with other TCGs. So something like Pokemon, they have major releases 4 times a year, I believe. I am a casual player. I can just about keep up with that. I think Flesh and Blood is 4 times a year as well. However, things like Magic the Gathering has, I don't know, a lot. So what I think is good about this, look, I'm going to leave Magic out of that, because that is so much content, so much product, so much new all the time that I can't keep up. So I just stopped playing it altogether and stopped buying it. The way the 4 times a year is might be a good thing, but I'm going to argue that Alpha Clash, that does 2 full sets a year plus the draftable set, or at least they did last year, and it's scheduled for this year as well. I hope they stick to that. Maybe a single set more, that would be fine, but sticking to that leaves it in a, for TCG, very unusual situation. So the set we have now, Unrivaled, came out about a month ago, and we just had the Clash Grounds, or we had the first one and the second one be here. So all the entrenched players, all the more than just casual players, have had a chance to work with these cards and come up with strategies and ideas. And then the next tier of players, people like me, who is interested in the game in more than just buying Clash kits, but trying to build something useful. We will get around to it and start seeing these, and we can start building. So we have a latency in absorbing this product, and when there is not a new every 2 months or every month or every week or whatever Magic is doing, we have actually time to do this. So I'm starting now to, I have been for the last 14 days or something like that, from the end of the last Clash Ground. I started to pick up strategies and ideas, so I want to brew myself. But what happens is that now I get to see something and get ideas, and I get to talk about it. So for a relatively new card game, which Alpha Clash is, that is, I think, a very good thing that we get to talk about this. We get to have time to spend with the cards and try to build something useful from it. So I know that there might be a reason in resources, but I'd much rather have them do 2 or 3 sets a year, and then a lot of other things like the comic books, like the comic books, the novels, the board game, posters, t-shirts, I don't know, whatever they make up. I'd much rather have that 2 or 3 sets a year, giving us a chance to absorb the cards and get to play with them, than having 4, 5 or 6 releases a year, which means that there's always something new, but also frightens new players and pushes us away a bit. So hats off for that. It's really, really, really lovely to have a chance to actually engage with these cards. So what I've noticed that means is that instead of just buying a card and buying a box and leaving it at that, which I did with Flesh and Blood and with Magic also, I just bought a single box, opened that, played with whatever was in that. Maybe I bought singles for specific decks. Now what happens is that I buy a box for the channel, and instead of just buying that box, a single box, or maybe 2 boxes, and then waiting around, not really waiting around, opening that, playing that, and then the next set is out and buy 1 or 2 boxes of that. I buy 2 boxes of this, and then another box, and then another box. So I end up actually having play sets of a lot of cards, and I use about the same amount of money on Alpha Clash as I did on Flesh and Blood or on Magic, but now I get to have complete play sets with them, because over time it seems reasonable. I can't spend that amount of money to get a complete play set of something that comes out every second month. So the lower rate that they're coming out is absolutely brilliant if you want to have players to have a play set of things. Not just the super competitive players, but also the more Timmy types like me that like to play with the cards, like to deck build around them, like to test strategies. I only build what I can get. I know the TCGs play is a thing where you can buy singles to some extent, but it's only a thing in the US. Having a relatively low setup for a relatively low release plan helps grow communities, I believe, because there isn't, everything is new to new players. There isn't a new horde of cards you need to reflect and understand new mechanics and stuff like that. You can sort of have your time getting into a game when they're not releasing too quickly. I think Magic is selling to Magic players, Flesh and Blood a little bit more to new players, well, but very entrenched players. Now Alpha Clash is, I believe, still picking up people who never played TCGs before. I might be wrong, but that's my experience. Anyway, good things for the release plan, and I love the fact that we do get draftable sets, both for reprints, but also for that limited environment play. Brilliant. Anyway, that was all I wanted to touch on today. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.